The first thing you'll notice about my platformer, is that the movement system is more than a little jerky. I spent a long time trying to fix this, and I've messed with all of the different numbers, and I just can't get it to feel satisfying or right. Unfortunately, it's still playable, so here we go. Now, the main bulk of this prototype is centers around these gardens. So now this garden here, represented by the sort of the fence, is where we plant enemies. And we've got a checkpoint here, so that I respawn here if I die. Now Bob the Blob here can't hurt me, but if I fire a projectile at him, he will get stunned. And then if I push him into the garden and plant him, he'll start to grow. And while he's growing, these bird enemies will show up. As you saw, I collided with one of the birds then, and was immediately sent back to the checkpoint. This could be used as almost an advanced tactic, and that you sacrifice yourself, not that there's any penalty for dying, and get sent back to the checkpoint to protect your garden. One of the issues I was having while doing this was that when I hit one of the birds, they bounced off and they span and they went through the environment. I fixed this by making them a trigger as opposed to a collision. I wanted to implement it so that I was able to grab Bob the Blob instead of having to just push him, because if we get him in just the wrong place, it's very difficult to get him out. There we go, it is just about possible. And now, as you can see, the Bob I planted earlier has grown into a nice, lovely mushroom, which if you overlap it, it fires you up into the air and allows you to progress to the next section. Now, that fired me up quite high, but if I drop on it rather than walk into it, I don't go as high. If I come in from it from the side, like I did the first time, sometimes it fires me all the way up like that. Sometimes it doesn't. It's a bit odd like that. Now, there are lots of potential plants to grow Bobs into. Had some ideas for swinging vines, even weapons that you could use to attack other enemies with. Overall, I'm very happy with how this has turned out, considering it's the first game I've ever made. And given that platformers aren't exactly my thing, I'm glad I've come up with such a distinct style and concept for this project.